You're tuned in to Nerd Overload, your weekly show for video games, movies, TV shows, comics, tech news, and more. Now your hosts, Cody Pinnick, Samantha Cross, Sam Dunham, and Josh Harrison.
Hey everybody, welcome to Nerd Overload, the pop and geek culture talk show that hasn't been bought out by Disney, but will accept offers up to $52 billion.
I'll take $52. I don't know about you.
I'm Cody.
I'm Sam.
I'm Josh.
And I'm Samantha.
We have a great show for you this week. Thank you very much for tuning in. We have a bunch of news to get it through, but first, let's talk about some things we've been checking out.
In a segment we sometimes do called Check It Out.
Have we ever called it Check It Out? I don't know if we've ever actually called it, we don't really put, names to our segments, do we?
That's true. We need little musical stings.
2018, the year that we just totally shill out for the Morning Zoo style show.
Yeah,
little jingles and sound effects.
Check it out. That's the jingle for Check It Out.
That's also a Beastie Boys thing.
Except done very poorly.
Yeah.
Way to sabotage the show.
Oh.
Intergalactic. All right. Hey, okay, so I'll go ahead and do my check it outs real quick. I have a couple this week.
Did you fight for your right to party?
Week? That's, of course, always. That is a constant struggle for me. Is
kind of hard to fight for something I never get invited to.
Oh, you made it sad. Yes. Congratulations, you made it sad.
No bummers.
No bummers. It's a bummer-free zone. No, a couple of things I checked out. First one, this is something that we all kind of checked out a little bit to varying degrees. It is the Legends of Zelda Champions Ballad DLC pack.
We talked about it a little bit last week.
Last week because they had a trailer for it, but it was released late last week, and I pretty much played through the entirety of it in one day.
Yeah, I kind of complained about it last week, but I was wrong.
Yeah. It's super good.
Yeah.
It's super good.
I mean, it starts out a little rough. That first challenge can be tough if you don't have the right equipment.
It's a little daunting if you don't know what you're doing. Yeah, but I love it.
Especially if you haven't played the game in 6 months.
Yeah,
I hadn't played since July, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, I know I have all this stuff, but I'm like, I don't remember what my buttons do.
Yeah, that took me a little bit, especially because the jump controls are opposite of Mario Odyssey, and that's what I've been kind of playing a ton of.
I kept doing that, and I think I kept drawing my weapon or something.
Yep,
and I was like, crap.
Yeah, I was doing the same thing, but no, ended up getting through it. Got all the way through the first challenge, then the 4 extra challenges that broke off into 3 other challenges that go along with.
Hey, we heard you like challenges, so we put a challenge in your challenge on your challenge.
Do you like shrines? Because we got more of those for you.
Yeah, but they were a lot of fun. I think these shrines were a little more thought out than some of the other ones.
Yeah, they're by far some of the best shrines in the game.
Absolutely. I totally agree with that. And the after you do that, there is a final it almost looks like another Divine Beast, like the 5th Divine Beast interior. So you have a full
another dungeon,
full-blown dungeon after that, and then it ends up, and I'm not going to spoil it for you guys, but I want to hype it up. This is what I'm doing. I'm hyping, not spoiling. It has a final boss that made me both so infuriated, but I was giddy with my fury. It was
giddy with rage.
I was giddy with rage. Yeah, seriously, it was crazy.
That's like a Ren Hoek.
No, seriously, it was this final boss is so once it happens, you go, oh, of course this is the final boss, and how you get the rad ancient motorcycle that you end up getting, but the final boss just starts throwing all this crazy stuff at you, and it's infuriating. But I was laughing because I was like, this is so much fun watching all this stupid stuff just come flying at me. It was great. It was a blast. And then driving around the motorcycle throughout the land of Hyrule is a lot of fun until you hit anything. You can stub your toe and the motorcycle will immediately disappear and you'll take damage.
I hate the fact that you got to feed the motorcycle ancient parts.
You can feed it whatever you want.
Oh.
It just...
you have to feed it?
Yeah, that's how you feed up the gas tank.
Oh.
Because it has a gas tank. what you have to do, once it runs out of gas, it'll just stop and the gas tank will open. And you have to put, food items or fish or whatever in your hand and then drop it into the tank. Food items will fill it up maybe like a quarter of the way. But like if you just have a handful of like ancient screws and gears and stuff, it just maxes out the tank. It's like the difference between putting premium and putting unleaded, but like watering down your unleaded with some like apple juice or whatever. It's a lot of fun. It's I'm glad that I bought the season pass. I forgot how close I was. I'm nowhere near 100%ing it. I'm never going to 100% it because there are way too many of those
Korok seeds.
Korok seeds.
And they really don't expect you to.
They don't. But was a lot closer to kind of getting almost, enough, a reasonable amount. Like hitting 500 moons in Odyssey is essentially the end of the game. You essentially max it out. There's something for getting everything, getting 100%, but essentially at that point, 500 is where it's at. Where I'm at is maybe I'm about an hour or two away from being like, okay, you essentially got it. There's really nothing else until
you're not the completionist.
I'm not.
So, yeah,
I'm not. That dude's nuts. I would love to have him on the show and talk to him. I think he'd be a really good interview.
Yeah, he would. He's a cool guy.
Yeah, he seems like a really cool guy. So yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Man, fun DLC story so far. What I've done.
Mm-hmm.
When you get the stupid. God, by the way, the name of that ancient weapon is such a stupid name.
Oh, the one-hit obliterator?
It's so dumb.
It's so not Zelda.
No.
But it's very Nintendo.
It's very Nintendo, yeah.
But,
such a porn name.
Got him. But, because when you get that stupid tuning fork of a weapon.
Yeah, that will kill anything in one hit, but also you have a fourth of a heart, and that's it. So anything will hit, like a strong breeze will kill you.
If a bat flies down and taps you in the back of the head, you're dead.
Yeah.
Which happened to me on more than one occasion.
It happened to me too. Like the very first spot I went to was the one where they had like the big broken log, and then they had the white bokoblin sitting on top of that giant tree.
Okay, sure.
And I'm sitting there sneaking around, and a flock of the tiny bats came down and tapped me in the back of the head.
Oh, that flock of bats is bullcrap. Mm-hmm. I had to shoot a bomb arrow into them.
Yeah, that's what I ended up doing as well.
I was like, ooh! But anyway, I was sneaking around there was this one spot, and all the enemies were lizard guys.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there, I'm just like sneaking. Took out like a couple like people kind of like on the outlines, and they're all sitting under like this cliff, or sitting around a campfire. And I'm looking, and I see a beehive hanging above them.
I did the same thing.
I shot the beehive and watched them fight each other.
Yeah, I did the same thing, but the only problem is I was just a hair bit too close. So once the bees got done knocking out the enemies, it was like, oh, you're here. Awesome. So it ended up chasing me around the campsite for a while I aggroed every other enemy that was on the other side of the fireplace. Yeah, didn't survive that one. Had to redo that one over. But yes, I know the spot you're talking about.
It's a lot of trial and error.
A lot
with that beginning quest.
Yes,
but
it's fun. It's worth it. It's really well worth it.
Stick with it because it gets better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then after you get done with the second shrine on the plateau, you meet up with Kaz, and he plays the original Zelda theme.
He does. Yeah.
I really enjoyed that part. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh.
He pops up a lot in this.
He's my favorite character, so that's fine with me.
He is really good. Also, like as far as characters go, like his visual design, and I've always thought this.
It's very unique.
Yeah, they definitely did a lot of thought when they drew him up.
I could sit there and listen to his little accordion loop forever. I don't know what it is about it. I really like it.
It makes me want to learn to play accordion.
Yeah. The only thing that I will kind of say is I wish these tied in a little more to the backstory of the champions. I mean, when you beat one of the three, like later on trials for each champion, you get a backstory cutscene essentially,
and they're really good cuts. Well, the one I saw was really good.
And they're fun. They're kind of neat, but I wish there was more. I wish there was more to that.
Yeah,
I kind of wish we got what was kind of rumored to be what this DLC was going to be, and it was supposed to be like a flashback, like a full-blown, like, this is what happened 100 years ago to bring about
before Link went into his magical coma.
Essentially a giant prequel game, like a mini prequel game.
Yeah.
Or be able to play as any of the other champions because the models are right there. And I mean, the cutscenes are the cutscenes FMVs or are they done like in game?
I think they're
models?
in engine.
In engine. So that means the possibility is like right there to play as them. But whatever. It's a nitpick. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, the one champion was too busy flying around in his Arwing making sassy comments to a fox.
Yeah.
He the actor that does the American voice of that has voiced Falco.
Has he?
In like some YouTube show or something like that. Yeah, so I mean so there is a slight tie there.
You know what? I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Because I think I've seen it.
It's not a Fox in Space, but it's it's something else.
Oh, it's not Fox in Space. Okay.
It's not Fox in Space, but it was something else.
Man, Fox in Space is really good.
It was really well done. Yeah. What we're talking about is an animated YouTube show starring the Star Fox characters as a Fox in Space.
It's it's kind of really serious, but it's also kind of weird and funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially with Star Wolf.
Yes. Well, anyway, the other thing that I checked out this week, this takes just a hair tiny bit of backstory. So I like bad movies. This is not new information.
No.
Yeah.
No way.
I know. No, I enjoy bad movies. The Room is one of the
worst.
Well, no. See, that's a misnomer. It's not the worst movie. Stuff like that and Plan 9 from Outer Space, they're not the worst movies ever made. They're the most hilariously bad movies ever made. There are just rotten, awful, terrible, boring movies that are the worst movies ever made.
This is true.
But
I think part of the gold that makes The Room so good is the fact that it was not set up to be a bad movie.
That's what makes a bad movie great is when it's played completely straight and the intent is not, hey, we're making a bad movie. That's not like Sharknado.
It's purposely bad.
You can derive some fun out of Sharknado, but by and large, it is like because they are knowingly making a bad movie, it just kind of seems kind of fakey. Whereas something like The Room or Plan 9 or something like, there's movies of that ilk.
Evil Dead.
Evil Dead's good, man. But like those kind of movies, they think they're doing serious.
It's intent and it's about being genuine.
Yes, exactly. Anyway, I'm talking about this because I went to see The Disaster Artist.
Man, I want to see that so bad.
Oh, it's super good. Listen, all the hype, everyone's saying that this is an Oscar contender. They're right. Like, this is a legit film.
It definitely felt like a passion project for James Franco.
Very much so. A passion project for just about everybody who was in the movie. From what I understand, a lot of the cameos and a lot of the different things, different celebrities that pop up throughout are part of that group that were huge fans of The Room and would go and see midnight screenings in Los Angeles that helped kind of make it become the big
cult classic that it is.
The thing that it is today. The one thing I will say about the film is that it is not necessarily a super accurate. It's not a docudrama. It's not like Ray, the Ray Charles movie. It's not like 23. It's not like some stuff like that. Where they're telling it like Walk the Line.
Yeah.
It's not a super accurate. I would say it's more like Ed Wood, the Tim Burton film, where
great movie.
It's a great movie, but it's like, okay, there are this, and this happened at some point during Ed Wood's life, but the facts around it were kind of twisted and kind of bent a little bit to make it a more
theatrical movie,
and more enjoyable film. Same thing with this, and a lot of it comes
like it's not quite a parody, but it's not quite of an accurate
it's not a parody at all, but it's certainly not accurate. There's a lot of finer detail that was either made up completely whole cloth or was heavily twisted, and a lot of it is to portray Tommy Wiseau in a more positive light. And I believe there's a good reason for that is because Tommy Wiseau had to sign off on his likeness in order for the film to be made, and they didn't want to make and also you don't usually want the hero and star of your film to be a completely raving lunatic madman, which from what I understand is how he actually was on set while filming The Room and not portrayed as kind of the lovable weirdo that kind of
Wanted
gets
to make
a little
a movie.
that gets kind of weird because his best friend starts dating another girl, and there's kind of that's the other thing that kind of struck me a little weird. There was like this underlying kind of, I don't want to say sexual tension, but like there was some definite like jealousy issues that Tommy had towards his friend and
Who plays
co-star
Mark?
Greg Sestro. And the thing that makes that extra weird is that's James Franco and his brother Dave Franco. Yeah, his brother Dave plays Greg. And speaking of Dave Franco, I think he might have been the weakest actor in the film. Everyone does a great job. Don't get me wrong. Dave, it sounds like I'm bashing on this film. I love this film. I think everyone should go out and see it, even people who haven't seen The Room, because I think there's enough there, at least the first 2 acts, that you can get a really, really solid film, even if you have no idea. If you haven't seen The Room, you're going to miss out on some of the finer details, some of the finer jokes.
But it definitely enhances the experience.
It enhances the experience if you've seen The Room. But I think that of all of the actors, I think Dave Franco just kind of looks like he is kind of confused and lost, even in scenes where he's not supposed to be portraying someone who is confused and lost. But there are cameos all over the place. Like they had to they painstakingly reenacted over 20 minutes of The Room using their own actors, and it is like shot for shot and like scene like set for set. It's like perfect.
Did they do the
scarily perfect?
The really awkward part with Lisa's mom?
Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Where she delivers the fact that she has breast cancer in the most nonchalant way.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, there's a whole section where they're like the other actors are on set, they're eating lunch or whatever, and they're talking to her, the actress playing Lisa's mom, saying, so what's going on? Is this this doesn't make sense? Does this come back later in the script? No, is plot twist.
It's plot twist.
Yeah. So, and it's funny, the actress that is portraying Lisa's mom is played by classic actress Melanie Griffith.
Huh.
Yeah. Like I said, this movie is just chock full of cameos all over the place.
I can't wait to see it.
It's great. Definitely go watch it. I would.
There's a lot of awkward things in The Room. That scene always sticks out real weird to me all the time.
That scene,
how'd they handle the sex scenes?
About as cringeworthy as humanly possible. No, if you like cringe, if you like stuff that makes you go, oh god, and makes your skin crawl while you're watching it, you're gonna love this movie because there are full like 10-minute chunks where you your skeleton just wants to jump out of your mouth and like run away while also turning to dust. Oh god,
That's an interesting visual cue.
Yeah, well, it's the feeling. It's like watching that one episode of The Office where Jim and Pam go to Michael Scott's and Jan's house for dinner, and they start having a fight right in the middle, and you just kind of want to go run screaming into the night because it's so like awkward and cringeworthy. It's like that. You get that weird pit feeling in the pit of your stomach. Yeah. Oh yeah, you get that
secondhand embarrassment kind of.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Wait, so most episodes of The Office with Michael Scott?
Well, yeah. Well, that the dinner party episode is like
that one is pretty bad.
Oh God. And I usually can't handle like cringeworthy stuff. I usually have to get up and like walk around or something. I was able to tough it out through this, and it was great movie.
We also saw a great movie.
Yeah.
It is called A Star Wars.
You may have heard of it.
Yeah, you may have heard of this franchise. It's a little-known sci-fi franchise called Star Wars.
Oh, I've never heard of it.
We saw the new Star Wars. We saw The Last Jedi.
Is that the one with the guys that have the different colored shirts with the phasers?
Oh, yeah.
That's it? Yeah, where they fight the Cylons?
Yeah.
Captain Kirk versus Cylons?
Yeah, and the
yell exterminate and Predator?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
No, we saw The Last Jedi last night, premiere night. Mm-hmm. It was really, really good. We're obviously not going to get spoilers into it too far.
I'll say half of us haven't seen it.
Yeah. But I thought it was fantastic. The story was good. there's a lot of moments where I'm legitimately like, I have no idea how they're going to get out of this situation.
It's pretty intense at some parts.
Yeah.
Really?
And funny and heartfelt, and Luke Skywalker was very cool.
Good.
We needed a cool Skywalker.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a little while. Do they? Does it give a really good send off for Carrie Fisher?
I
Can't say it. Okay, that's fine.
talk about it.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's about all I really want to say about it, though.
Great.
I don't want to spoil it, but yes, it is good, and yes, you should see it.
Cool.
The internet seems to think otherwise.
Well, the internet's stupid.
Yeah.
So,
but they're wrong. It is a very good movie and a very good Star Wars movie.
yeah, good. I'm looking forward to seeing it sometime this weekend.
Also, the Porgs are terrible,
They are.
but luckily they're not in it enough to like Jar Jar it up or anything.
Yeah.
Okay, so is it the other spectrum of hateable Star Wars fuzzy characters? Is it Ewok level?
Well, they're not as big of a part of the plot as Ewoks.
They're
so.
just kind of there.
Yeah, they're just kind of there, which is maybe worse because it makes it seem all that much more like they're just there to sell toys, which they are.
Well, end of the day, this is still a kids and family movie.
Yeah.
So they got to have something. And if they like dilute all of the, toyetic bits down to one specific character.
One Furby lookalike thing.
Yeah, instead of having like, oh, this thing is a little bit toyetic, and look at this, or this thing's a little bit more like a, more kidified to sell toys. No, put it all, just get it all out of the way, put it all into one character. I'm okay with that. I'll live.
I hate that sound they make.
See, I actually haven't heard them. I've just seen pictures of the Porgs.
It's a horrible sound.
They don't really make a whole lot of noise in the movie, thankfully.
Well, that's good.
I could have went without seeing Luke Skywalker milk that 4-tip monster.
Is that a thing that actually happens?
Uh-huh. When we're following Luke around on the island and just seeing how he's living his life, he milks this, like, big giraffe monster that has, like, 4 boobs on its stomach. And, like, they literally look like human boobs.
Is that where blue milk comes from?
No, it wasn't blue. It was white.
Okay,
It was
good.
green.
It was green?
It was green.
It was green.
Oh, boy.
I think that means it went bad.
But it was
now,
a really
did
weird...
he milk it with the Force?
No, he used his hands on the nipple.
Oh, wow.
He grabbed the nipple and squeezed.
He has a robo hand. That must have been horrible.
He used his regular hand.
Why are we having this conversation?
I don't know. Why
is
is it in the movie? I'm surprised I haven't seen anybody else talking about this.
Probably 'cause I didn't want to ruin it.
Because it is weird. It looks like a real human rack on the bottom of this monster. You're probably going to have to cut this all out.
No, I'm staying in.
I'm surprised Disney was like, yes, keep this in.
More of this, please.
Yeah.
This I like.
Talk about milking the franchise.
Oh, no.
You're fired.
Bad. That's bad.
But yeah, that was
Go directly to jail.
that was my biggest complaint is why did we have to see Luke Skywalker milk a space monster boob.
Also, why didn't you use the Force? You have it, use it. I would have, but also I'm morally questionable.
Yeah.
Also, all the new characters were good.
Oh, they were.
Anybody they added felt like they should be there.
Good. Good.
Like Benicio del Toro and...
Yeah. And, what's her name? Kelly Marie Tran, I think?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
She was great.
Yeah, she was.
Okay.
Her and Finn play off each other really well.
Oh, good.
Here's what I want to know. Do they actually make Phasma a good character?
No. I mean, that's kind of spoiler. Well,
No,
not really.
I didn't mean like a good character. I meant like...
An actual character.
Like, yeah, not just there. Like...
More than a Boba Fett.
Because they Boba Fetted her really bad in the last movie.
She's still pretty Boba Fett.
Oh.
Okay. Well, hey, you know what? There's a whole third movie that they could do something.
True.
Yeah.
She could come back around.
That was the one. I think that was the one thing that frustrated me the most with with The Force Awakens is they push so hard marketing wise for Captain Phasma, and we got nothing out of it.
She did hardly anything.
She stood there and looked cool, and
I mean that's really awesome though.
oh yeah, and I like Gwendolyn Christie, and she seemed generally excited about the role.
Yeah, but just didn't give the character much to do.
No,
Yeah.
no, not at all.
There's the part where she gets hit with a blaster fire and it just bounces right off of her armor, and it was super rad.
Oh, that's pretty rad. That does sound pretty cool.
Her whole look was so cool.
It was
Pearl
very,
armor with
yes.
that cape.
Oh yeah,
Ugh.
very cool.
Like I said, Boba Fett looks cool. Didn't accomplish anything.
That's probably enough on Star Wars. I've already
Yeah.
spoiled enough.
Yeah. Well,
We had enough boob talk.
and actually, here's the thing. We're at break time already, so
Which
let's
is
go.
fine, because I didn't really do anything other
Hey.
than the Zelda DLC.
Well, excellent. All right, worked out perfect then. Well, let's go ahead and take a break here, and when we get back, we will get into a little bit of news.
Hey, we're back. That was electronic Christmas music, high-tech contemporary tunes. It's from an old 90s cassette tape that I learned about from Lazy Game Reviews on YouTube.
Nice.
Which go check his channel out. He's pretty great. He looks at weird old stuff like that,
Yeah.
or reviews old DOS video games.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. All right. Well, hey, we're back, so we'll go ahead and get into a little bit of news. Where do we want to start?
Oh man, there's so much.
There's a list. We have a list, believe it or not. Do we want to get the big news out of the way first?
Why not?
Yeah, AOL is gone.
AOL Messenger.
Messenger, yeah. No, that's actually a quick hit. We can talk about that here in just for a sec. Yeah, AOL Instant Messenger.
End of an era.
End of an era. No longer a thing.
Which I didn't realize anyone was still using it.
No longer can you leave passive-aggressive away messages
Yes.
for your high school friends and crushes.
Maybe about your stepdad.
Yeah.
But no, I'll be honest. I was never I had AOL Instant Messenger. I didn't use it a ton. Used it a little bit.
Yeah, I had it. I don't remember why. I don't know who I was talking to on it.
Oh, I used it a lot.
I was an MSN boy. Microsoft Messenger.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
guess like way back when I had AOL, that's when I used it the most. But oh my god, I used to talk to just scary now that I think about it. Just talk to other randos about like Sailor Moon and
Didn't you run a Sailor
Yes.
Moon club on AOL or something
Right.
Oh, that's
when you
excellent.
were a child? Yeah.
It's just like that's horrifying. Think about it.
Yeah.
I shouldn't be
In
talking
the
to
day and age we
randos.
have now, yes. But also, I'm 100% stealing this joke. But when we're growing up, they tell you not to get in cars with strangers and don't use the internet to talk to strangers, and yet we use the internet to summon strange cars to ride in now.
Yeah.
Thanks, Uber.
But no, it's kind of sad that AOL Instant Messenger is disappearing. It's
Yeah. As an introverted, anxious person,
Oh,
it was a great tool to have to talk to people from school.
Oh, sure.
Without being a nervous wreck.
Facebook before Facebook and MySpace.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
MySpace.
Or texting before texting.
It was very much like texting before texting.
We used to talk on something. What was it?
I don't know.
Maybe it was AOL.
It might have been.
Maybe that's what. Maybe that's why I had AOL Messenger, so I could talk to you.
Gross. Get a room.
It's adorable.
And now it's gone.
And yeah.
But we have all these great alternatives, so it's progress.
For now.
You mean
Yeah.
you mean Facebook Messenger?
Yeah.
Oh god.
We don't even use that anymore.
Well, we don't, but I
Yeah.
do. I use it a lot.
Yeah. I'll use it every once in a while as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get into the actual big news. Disney has
Overwatch. The holiday event starting now.
Cody,
Yeah,
you're
no.
fired.
How
No.
many times have I been fired from this show?
and,
Today?
Yeah, today.
Disney has finalized their buyout or merger with or buyout of the majority shares of 21st Century Fox, which means they're going to have access to an entire like huge backlog of classic
Basically-
characters and shows and movies. and
Basically,
stuff.
everything that's Fox that's not sports or news related.
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah, so now Disney owns The Simpsons, so that feels weird.
That feels very weird.
Simpsons, Firefly, a bunch of other stuff I love that they killed.
Yeah.
They're going to bring Almost Human back, guys.
Hey, don't play with my heartstrings like
that's
that.
a great show.
That's
I
a
hope they bring that
fantastic
back.
show.
Yeah,
Maybe they'll bring Zorn back.
that would be. Yeah,
I keep seeing this Zorn t-shirt at Hot Topic every other time we go there, and it's like, oh man, Zorn, they did you wrong.
they did you dirty, Zorn.
Yeah.
They did you dirty.
They did you dirty, bud.
Yeah, but it's interesting to see. I'm really. It's going to be interesting to see where this all goes. I'm really torn on how I feel about this. If you want to be completely honest,
Really depends on how they use it and what they do. They could do lots of things.
Yeah.
From what I understand, a large part of their decision to buy out part of Fox is they wanted Hulu. They wanted access to the shows that are on Hulu, and they wanted access to that streaming service.
Yeah, because they're trying to build their own streaming services, so to have all these other shows and properties that they can use to build up their library.
Yeah. Or
they'll just use Hulu,
switch over and just start using Hulu and just add
which
a
would
bunch
be
of
the
Disney
smart
stuff.
thing to do because it's already a pre-established thing that everyone pays for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's literally the Netflix of TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My biggest problem with it is like a lot of the Fox stuff is good because it's the anti-Disney.
Yeah.
Like if you think about it, even the original like Fox channel, that was their thing. They were the anti-Disney. Simpsons were the anti-Cosbys. Like
Yes, between Simpsons, Married with Children, a lot of those. Yeah, I totally agree. And it's kind of, I trust. This might come back to bite me, but I trust Disney enough to know when to not mess with when they have a good thing going with their Fox properties. Disney's smart enough to not like if something's making them money, they're going to go hands off.
And
look at the Marvel Cinematic stuff, which I'll get back to that in a sec now because of all this. But I don't know, just having Disney have control over so much and it reaching almost monopoly size levels of,
and it really is.
it's getting there, and it's leaving a weird taste in my mouth, a weird bad taste in my mouth, and that's the part that I'm not real keen on. But then the inner geek in me is going, oh my god, that means we can have Galactus and Doctor Doom in the Series 4
MCU,
Marvel movies, which would be great.
And Deadpool and Spider-Man finally get to hang out.
Yeah. Can you imagine Doctor Doom as like a big overarching villain for like the next giant like...
I mean, that's what I've wanted for like 1,000 years.
Yeah. And a Doctor Doom done correctly where he's not like some metal guy shooting electricity. He is a dude in armor that knows both technology and magic.
Yep.
And
runs a country.
runs a country.
Yep. His favorite thing is to throw his diplomatic immunity in people's faces.
Basically, yeah.
Doctor Doom is literally one of my favorite comic villains.
He's hilarious.
He's great.
Him and the Joker are like two of my favorite comic villains. Mm-hmm. And it's because Doctor Doom is such an intriguing character, always has been. I mean, he looks cool. There's no other villain in Marvel like him.
And the confidence that he has.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, I've always said that the best villains are the ones that think they're the hero of their own story. Like Magneto. Like Doctor Doom.
Oh, yeah.
The ones that they think they're doing right. They think what they're doing is noble and
just.
And it just happens that they're
on the wrong side.
On the wrong side of things.
I mean, not that Doctor Doom is always on the wrong side. I mean, there have been plenty of stories where Doctor Doom's actually kind of a good guy.
Yeah, there's actually one of my favorite miniseries. It was Doctor Doom and Doctor Strange. They every year Doctor Doom travels to Hell to try to rescue the ghost of his mom.
Yeah.
From oh god, it's not the actual devil. It's
Mephisto.
Mephisto, yeah. And there is a 3-issue miniseries, like a mini graphic novel, where Doctor Strange one year is like, okay, I'm helping. Let's do this. So it's the good master of mystical arts and Doctor Doom who is like, arcane, like techno magic, essentially.
Oh yeah,
Just-
just his armor is technology and magic.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to seeing them with X-Men.
Yes.
Yeah.
That means we can finally get X-Men comics and stuff back.
Yeah, that'll be nice.
That'll be really nice. It'll be great for the Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite.
Yeah.
Next DLC is going to be like, hey, DLC pack, it's all the X-Men.
X-Men.
You're getting your Cyclops and your Wolverine back. Boom, go.
That's about it.
It just makes me wonder, how quickly are they going to try to reincorporate all of these characters back into both the films and the comics?
Yeah.
Well, the comics would be a little easier because they're already kind of there. I mean, they were never
truly gone, but they didn't have their own books
For a long time. Yeah.
They're starting to now. It makes me kind of wonder. There's been a rumor that with all of this going on, we could start seeing hints at mutants pop up in the movies as early as the next event, like the Avengers: Infinity War Part 2.
Yeah.
Because I've heard they might try to get like Hugh Jackman, like pop up as Wolverine one more time, pop the claws, stab,
Bub.
Thanos, whatever.
I love that joke in Squirrel Girl that it was Jubilee talking to somebody, and she says the claws don't actually make that noise. He just says it every time
just
they
says
come out.
But no, I'm excited for the prospects at some of the what Disney can do with some of the with some of the properties, but the overall kind of business standpoint just kind of makes me feel kind of weird.
Yeah, it's kind of icky.
I mean, it is on that level very disconcerting because there isn't much left, at least within the nerd circles, that they can't grab. And like at this point, it's what are they going to go after? DC,
Right. Well, remember there was a handful of years ago, the Siegel and Schuster family fought to try to get the rights to Superman away from DC Comics. And the hot rumor for a hot minute was, what if all of a sudden Superman ends up in Marvel? Because it could have happened.
Yeah.
I mean, not that there haven't been DC Marvel crossovers before.
Yeah, but I mean, like this would be a permanent, like. Then again, it would be Superman without flight, without laser vision. It would be classic 1930s, jump higher than a building, faster than a locomotive, like super toned down, but still the name Superman, Clark Kent, that sort of thing. Well, I don't know how much more we could talk about this. It's just kind of a,
Like it's cool, but at the same time, it's like,
yeah.
That's basically where I sit at.
I think we're all kind of at that point. We're kind of talking in circles at this point. So let's do a couple of quick hits. We mentioned it before. The Overwatch holiday stuff
Came out.
Is it good? I don't know. I don't play.
I think
Overwatch.
the skins look pretty good. The game mode sounds the best part, though. It's a Yeti hunt.
Okay.
Where, was it 4 players are Maze?
Yeah.
And one is Winston as a Yeti. And they have to hunt the Yeti Winston, who goes around trying to collect pieces of meat so he can do his ultimate move and get super strong.
his primal rage. Yeah.
Interesting.
And May gets a new move that drops like a bear trap to try to trap him. So it looks really fun. I'll be excited to try it. I haven't gotten a chance to yet.
Hey, Mace snowball fight was a blast last year.
Yeah, which that's back too in an arcade mode.
It was so much fun,
I'm
but
gonna
really
put a rock in
frustrating.
this one.
Huh?
I'm gonna put a rock in this one.
All right, cool. Well, next up, Netflix might be getting, or is getting, an animated She-Ra cartoon.
She's
The
coming
Princess
back,
of
y'all.
Power.
Yeah, which is good. I was excited about that, and then when I read who was show running it, I got even more excited because it's Noelle Stevenson of Lumberjanes and Nimona.
Yeah,
It's really good. Read
it's
it.
a great.
I love the
great
Lumberjanes
get.
comics.
Mm.
So good.
Mm-hmm.
One of the women who works on that lives in Columbus.
Yeah,
Yep,
should get her on. Try to get her on the show.
we could try. We could definitely try. But no, I'm excited for She-Ra. I think it's going to be great. Do you think? Go
Oh,
ahead.
I'm sorry. I was going to say, do you think with them bringing back She-Ra that we might actually get like maybe a Masters of the Universe?
You know what? I don't need it. I'm okay with it. They had a Masters of the Universe a handful of years ago on Cartoon Network.
Yeah, the
And
early
it did,
2000s.
and it did fine. It was a perfectly adequate update.
Yeah,
But
it wasn't bad.
You know
It
what?
was better than that Thundercats one they did.
You know what? More people just naturally know He-Man than She-Ra, unfortunately. So I think, no, just have She-Ra be her own thing.
And He-Man can show up.
He can show up, sure. I would be more interested in seeing, what was the character's name? Bo?
Bo.
The Freddie Mercury with a heart on his chest,
Yeah.
essentially.
Ginger, Freddie
yeah.
Mercury.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With his midriff.
Like,
Yeah.
like the one male character in the show.
Yep.
Yeah, he is like outside the main villain, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there was also that pirate, too, I think. There was another male character.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's been forever since I've watched She-Ra.
We used to watch it on Netflix a lot, like, just to put on when we're going to sleep or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a great show.
It's good, but also kind of formulaic,
Yeah.
like most of those old cartoons were.
Like, it's definitely a toy commercial cartoon from the late 80s.
Sure.
But it's still a lot of fun to watch, I think.
Hey, if they make it like half as good as the new Voltron is, it'll be great.
Yeah.
And the animation was always good.
Mm-hmm.
They rotoscoped a lot, like certain scenes, and it would look good.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I think they didn't use Ralph Bakshi, but I think some of his animators from his studio were a part of the She-Ra. I think. I could be wrong on that. Don't email me and tell me if
Don't
I'm
at
wrong
me.
or not. I don't need to know. Just let me live in this truth.
Speaking of rotoscoping, just this kind of popped in my head.
Yeah.
Have you guys watched Apollo Gauntlet on Adult Swim?
No.
It's really goofy, and it kind of makes fun of that era of rotoscope kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually really, really enjoyable, and like they definitely took some of the visual cues from like She-Ra and He-Man and stuff like that.
Cool. Should we say what rotoscoping is for folks? Because we might be just talking in tongues for some of our
true.
listeners.
That's when they shoot video of somebody acting out the action they're animating and then draw over top of the video.
Mm-hmm. And you get this really neat kind of fluid look
Yeah.
to the animation. Actually did a lot of that for the early Disney stuff. I think there were some dance scenes in
Alice in
Snow
Wonderland.
White.
Alice in Wonderland is almost entirely rotoscope.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same
at least
with Snow
on
White.
Alice's part.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And Wendy too in Peter Pan.
Yeah.
It was actually the same girl.
And also looks like at least some of it might be in the Spider-Man movie that's coming up.
They
next one,
released a
Spiderverse.
trailer
Yeah, speaking
for
of which, yeah.
Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Mm-hmm.
An animated theatrical Spider-Man movie.
Is it theatrical?
Yes.
Yeah.
It is.
It is going to
Excellent.
theater.
That's excellent.
And it instead of starring Peter Parker, like everyone else knows, it's Miles Morales, the ultimate Spider-Man.
And that's super great.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
We don't get enough of Miles Morales in the media outside comics, in my opinion.
I agree.
I've always liked him. He's always been a solid character for me.
Mm.
And it looks so cool.
It looks
like visually,
really good.
it looks different than any animated movie I've ever seen. Probably.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it looks excellent.
Oh yeah, it's very smooth, very colorful.
Mm-hmm.
Surprisingly dark looking.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In a cool way, not in a.
Well, for Ultimate Spider-Man, you kind of have to be, because it's an era in that Marvel universe after the death of Peter Parker, and
Right.
someone else, Miles, picks up the mantle of Spider-Man.
Right, but this movie isn't just about that. It looks like it's going to be a crossover of a bunch of different, like, multiverse
Yes,
style kind
Spider-Man.
of Spider-Mans.
Yes, because that was the premise of the Spider-Verse comics
Right.
event, was all these different spider people meet up.
or Spider-Man.
Spider-Man,
So-
Spider-Women's.
So yeah, what other Spider characters do you think we're going to see in this?
Well,
Spider-Gwen, of course.
I would hope.
Got it. You got to.
We haven't had her in
the
it.
Gwen Stacy that becomes Spider-Man in one
Yeah.
universe instead of Peter Parker.
Yep. Her inception was actually the Spider-Verse.
Spider-Man Noir.
We'll see Spider-Man Noir.
Yep.
'Cause he
I'm
pops up every
I'm
now and then.
assuming that the person in the trailer that Miles is talking to in the subway
Is Peter Parker.
No, I think it is Spider-Man UK,
Oh, okay. The one that's
who was Captain Britain
Right.
and then became Spider-Man.
Spider-Lad.
yeah.
Well,
Boy.
because in the comic, he was like one of he was like almost like the head of the team that figured out how to do the dimension jumping.
Because
Spider
Captain
Governor.
Britain, that's his
Yeah.
big thing.
And the whole point of the Spider-Verse comic was there's these extra-dimensional, basically, vampires who survive from sapping the energy from spider heroes.
Yeah.
They eat Spider-Mans.
They do. It's pretty much what it is.
Vampires who eat Spider-Mans.
Yeah, I know. It's comics. We could definitely probably see him. Maybe Spider-Ben.
Yeah.
The Ben Parker who becomes a Spider-Man.
Yep. So the question I'm asking, this is where I was getting. This is the most important one.
Yeah.
Are we going to see Japanese Spider-Man?
I hope so.
Spider-Man?
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Because he showed up in the comics.
He did.
It's
For
true.
one
With his
panel.
giant robot Leopardon. Spider-Man and his famous giant leopard robot
From the planet Spider.
from the planet Spider.
Emissary of Hell.
He's the emissary of hell, Spider-Man.
I really hope so, because that was one of the greatest things they did in the Spider-Verse was make that reference.
Yep.
Yeah.
Even if it's just one scene in this movie.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And just have him speak Japanese with no subtitles. That no one can understand, or that everyone can understand, but but no one else can. You just hear
Su Spider-Man!
Spider-Man, go Leopardon.
That'd be so awesome.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I would lose my mind.
Oh yeah,
The movie already looks really well. Also, I kind of hope they don't water it down too much.
but they got to fit it into about an hour and 45-minute movie.
Yeah, and that's my thing. Is how do you do it without oversaturating it and taking away from Miles' story?
Well, they're going to end up with about 4 or 5 different Spider-Men instead of an entire.
Yeah, it'll probably be a small
multitude.
team.
Yeah.
It'll probably be a lot like what they did when they did kind of the Spider-Verse for the Ultimate Spider-Man series that was on Disney XD.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Hey, I could talk about this all day. We got to move on because we have some more news topics. We're getting pretty close on time.
We got another trailer.
We have another trailer. Yeah, let's talk about that.
Ready Player One released another trailer.
Yeah.
And it sure does look like a wet fart of a movie.
I will be honest. I like nostalgia as much as the next guy. I really do. So I'm going to give this movie a chance. I'm going to buck the trend. I'm going to be Mr. Positivity this time instead of Mr. Negativity. Yes, the trailer looks like hot garbage. And yeah, it just looks like a bunch of, oh, look at this thing that you knew from the 80s. Look at it, everybody. Remember? Look at it. Look. We're making references. We're a mashed-up T-shirt. Look at us. Yeah. We're taking all your things and smacking them all together into one big thing.
It's T-Fury, the movie.
Basically. But I am going to give this movie a fair shake.
I mean, it is Spielberg.
It's Spielberg, and it's set in Columbus, Ohio. Don't forget that.
And his leg, the guy's leg is real long on the poster.
Yes.
I haven't seen that.
It looks really weird.
Yeah, it's not a great poster.
Yeah, legs are long. Yes, they're very, very long.
I feel like I just kind of want to. I don't really care about the story at this point in this movie. I just kind of want to watch and see the visuals. For me,
it's going to look very nice, but yeah. I don't know if there's going to be a saturation point where references and nostalgia hits like that critical mass, and it just stops being
and it
good.
starts feeling forced and fake.
Exactly, and
it already feels forced in the trailer.
The book, I read the book, or I read the first 3 chapters of the book, and I had to quit because it was just cramming it down your throat. It was too much, Again, Spielberg's a great director. I hope he has enough wherewithal to know when to kind of back it off a little and go, maybe we don't need the 80th reference to Battlestar Galactica and Back to the Future
and Ferris Bueller.
Yeah. Maybe we don't need to put all of these Atari symbols everywhere and also driving the Akira motorcycle.
And the Mad Max car.
And the
that's in there.
Yeah.
Maybe we don't need a Ghostbusters DeLorean mashup car.
And that. See,
I
makes
really
me
hope that's
upset.
not in there. I'm fine with
the movie.
And
Ernest
Klein,
book.
Ernest Klein literally has that car.
I'm sure he does.
I saw a picture of it.
Ernest Klein is
he's the writer of the book.
He is a writer of the book, and he is also it's to an embarrassing level. His geekdom gets.
Yeah.
Like
I've read some of his poetry that he's released online, and it is embarrassing.
It is. Yeah, I don't know what to say. I mean, listen, we're all geeks here. We all collect things. We're all into nostalgia. But it's like if we had infinite amount of money to buy into our every whim of nostalgia, but not have the wherewithal to
Or the
know when to stop, to take a deep breath and go, okay, maybe not this. You know that. You know what I mean?
Maybe this is too far. Well, to have substance along with it, you can't just run on that alone.
That's just it. If the movie has substance, I'm willing to give it a big, huge pass. But if it's just references for references' sake, then it's
Here's
fluff.
another
It's nothing.
thing is from the trailer. It's supposed to be a love letter to the 80s. Why is Tracer from Overwatch in there?
Yeah, and Lara Croft and
Unless they updated the movie
the
to
Iron
be
Giant. Yeah.
Well, the Iron Giant was to replace Ultraman.
Yeah, because they couldn't get the rights to Ultraman.
Yes.
That's correct.
Yet Sunrise gave them the rights to use the RX-78 Gundam from the original Gundam. Who knows?
I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see.
You'd think Gundam would be a better replacement for Ultraman than the Iron Giant, but what do I know?
I don't know. I do love the Iron Giant, though. It's one of my favorite anime movies.
Yeah. Well, isn't Iron Giant an Amblin?
It might be.
Film,
Yes.
which
Yes, it
is a Spielberg production.
Yes.
So there you go.
Are they going to find that egg, though? They got to find that egg.
Gotta get those eggs.
Gotta get the egg.
Yeah.
Where's the egg?
The Easter egg. The Easter eggs in the Easter egg movie. That is such a sour MacGuffin. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Wasn't there Homestar Runner detective flash game about finding an egg?
Something like that. Yeah. Yeah. You know what? I remember the exact thing in the book that I stopped
made you
reading.
stop?
What made me stop? There's a whole chapter where to find one of the keys to find the egg, the kid had to play through a simulation of the movie Ferris Bueller's Day Off as the character Ferris, and he had to speak each line that Ferris had and go through the motions of the film in perfect detail. So the entire chapter was him explaining the film Ferris Bueller's Day Off while the kid's going, "Oh my God, I'm inside the movie Ferris Bueller's Day Off." Isn't that crazy?
It's like the whole Easter egg hunt is nerd gatekeeping.
Yes.
Like, you're a fake nerd if you don't get these references. You can't have my egg.
Basically, and the egg gives you all the money in the world or something like that in the movie. Or whatever.
Whoever finds the egg gets a ridiculous amount of money that sounds like fake, like a bajillion.
It's Bitcoin.
He gets.
You just get a bunch of Bitcoin.
You get 6 Bitcoins, which is equal to about $30 bajillion.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Sometimes I kick myself from not jumping on that back in the early days.
Yeah, same here. Okay, so we are super out of time, but we just got a couple of quick hits. Patreon has broken and then turned around and fixed the way that they get money from patrons for their creators.
Yeah, they were going to charge a service fee of
30. It was some kind of 3.5% that used to come out of the dollar for every dollar that. What is it? The fee used to come out of the charge, so the creator would get less money.
But now it was going to come out of the user.
So the user would actually pay an extra 35 cents per every dollar.
Yeah, so the dollar tier was gone, which is the most popular
It's the most popular
on
one,
Patreon.
and people freaked out, so Patreon rolled it back. That's great. Moving on to the next one, Street Fighter had a bunch of news. I'm the only one that cares about it, but Blanca looks great, Sakura's back, and
Cody
is not in jail anymore. He looks like he's a mayor or something. It looks pretty great. But my boy Sagat's back, and that means I can get back into tournament play because I have a pocket Sagat, man. That's
there's
my dude.
also the Street Fighter collection.
That Street Fighter collection looks really good too.
Yeah.
The first time you can legally play Street Fighter 1, the original arcade that was so jank and busted and broken. But hey, you can play it. It's going to be great. And we should mention something about this, although we can't get into it. I don't want to get into it too much. Net neutrality.
Maybe we'll talk about
it next time. But this is homework.
The FCC did a bad.
FCC did a bad. Listen, between this week and next week, I don't usually tell our listeners to do stuff. Maybe we're not allowed to tell our listeners to do stuff. get online, research net neutrality. Trust me, this is something that you want to keep around. You want to keep net neutrality. And big scary people are trying to get rid of it, and it's will do nothing but harm for you, me, and everybody. So just go online, do a Google, just do a Google for net neutrality. Read like one article. That's all I ask. Read one article, make your own opinions, but trust me, this is a big issue. You need to look into it. This is this is political as we're ever going to get on this show.
Especially for small-time internet outlets like ourselves.
Yes. It affects everyone.
It affects everything. You like your Netflix? You like your YouTube? You like your social media? Do you like apps? Look into net neutrality. Form your own opinions. I'm not going to force you one way or the other, but trust me, this is a thing you need to be very aware of. With that, we've hit time on the show. So you've been listening to Nerd Overload. Thank you very much for tuning in. You can find us each and every day over at nerdoverload.com.
You can also find us on all forms of social media, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, at Nerd Overload Now.
You can email us at staff@nerdoverload.com.
And you should subscribe to our YouTube channel, Nerd Overload TV.
Yep.
So we can get those subscriptions so we can change the name to match the other ones.
That would be great. That is the goal.
And tell your friends, share the show on Facebook, that kind of stuff. So
shout it from the top of a mountain.
Yes.
But as long as there are people next to you that can hear you shouting it from the top of a mountain. We're also on iTunes and Stitcher and Google Play. Google Play, that's a thing. That's working now. That does a thing. So check us out over there. And again, thank you all for tuning in, and we will be back next week.
Peace out.